Hi, Elliot here, and welcome to the Power of Mysticism. I am thrilled to be sharing with you a story about a conversion experience, a transformational experience that I've just gone through. Let's begin with how I was addicted to gambling, how I was buying the lottery every day. And then finally, one day, an angel came to me in garb that looked a little bit like a farmer's garb. I thought it was somebody who probably lived far away from my little city here in Indiana. And he said to me, "Don't buy those tickets." He came to me right when I was filling out one of those Powerball forms, and he tried to get me to stop. I didn't really look in his eyes. I wish I had done that. But in any event, I was just sort of waved him off and said, no, I'm going to buy it. I didn't know, of course, that it was an angel. It was the second day in a row in a different location that this guy in the same garb showed up again. Couldn't miss him. I didn't really see him until he was sort of like right behind me in line. And I didn't see him or know that he was there or watched me buy tickets until after I purchased them. So then on my way out, I see him and I say, "Oh my goodness, I see you everywhere." This is like 2 days in a row. And both times when I was buying a lottery ticket. And he said something that was sort of, I forget the words, but I think it was kind of like, "No, it's the reverse." And that was the last time I ever saw him. It wasn't until a few minutes later that it clicked, that I realized, oh my goodness, this is an angel. Nonetheless, I kept buying lottery tickets, so I knew I had had this miraculous experience. I had no doubt that it was an angel. And at the same time, I was entrenched in not only the addiction, but what it was a larger thing about always having encounters like these. I've had other angel encounters, and hearing stories from other people about their angel encounters that are just way beyond my own encounter, and still having that come from having the sea I'm swimming in be 3D. It was so entrenched, the 3D paradigm, that it didn't really translate all of this wonderful, beyond just encounters with angels, all of this wonderful um, reading about and living in some ways in a box out there in a box, not affecting my life. All of this believing, fully believing in the spiritual realm and the power of mysticism and so on and so forth, somehow being dismissed in a way, siphoned off, but it doesn't really count, not really fully stepping into it. And then what ended out really making the difference, the tipping point for me, getting me onto the path and being able to break through 3D into 5D fully. I'm really quite sure that's the case. 2 days ago, I ended up pulling my keyring out of my pocket, just my keyring. So this wasn't attached to it yet. And in the process, a couple of quarters also fell out. So it took me about a minute to find the quarters, and while I was looking for them, the angels put this bag through the keyring. This is a very difficult keyring to open, and I haven't opened it ever since I put my keys onto it after buying it a few months ago. And I've been keeping this, even though it's sort of cumbersome. I don't really put this in my pocket. The last couple of days since that happened, I carried it around in the bag. But I was so touched by the angels reassuring me. I thought it was just a reassurance, just a sign. And now I realize that the angels probably knew I might keep it in there, and it might end up helping the power of mysticism and the power of angels to become more my central focus. So it wouldn't just be a moment that went away. And it's just been, but then it took a day or two before I really realized, oh my goodness, they're doing that to help me understand that I need to start really taking their messages seriously with awe and reverence and not, oh, yeah, I had an angel experience and I'm going to continue to be addicted. The other thing I had that came to me wasn't really an angel experience. It was just a vision of coffee that was really, it was clear that it was poisonous. And for the most part, I really have. Immediately for a while there, I was not drinking any coffee at all, and then I became lax. And then I decided, oh yeah, the universe is trying to tell me that I shouldn't be drinking coffee, but I'll do it occasionally. And I had a cup of coffee just yesterday, and now that I realize what this is all about, now that I have a clear picture of how entrenched I've been, I just know that going forward, I just know it. I'm not going to be having any more coffee. I'm going to drop. I had dropped the buying lottery tickets for 2 weeks. And then I was like, oh, I'm over it now. I'm healed from that. So I'm allowed to buy lottery tickets occasionally. Maybe it will help, rescue me. And in other words, it wasn't leaning fully. It wasn't being, and you have to be in totality. It has to be 100%, or else it's just not, it has to be full out. It just has to be. So, I had an example. I stumbled on a passage in the Old Testament that really helped me. I think it was one of the keys to moving in this transformational experience full out. Just earlier today, it was the story of three men who defied the king. The king was saying everyone must bow to this gold object I created, this false idol. And the three men went up to the king and said, no, we're not going to do that because our king, the force of the universe, is more powerful and he will save us from your punishment. The punishment was going to be a fiery furnace. And, and they also said that even if our king does not save us from that, we will not obey you. We will be aligned with the principle of the universe. We will be totally aligned with the laws of the cosmos. So that is, it just reminds me of Malcolm X when he was being treated like royalty at a pilgrimage at a 1 week event, I guess it was, in Mecca. And it made him write an open letter to his followers. He was like, I'm no longer going to be thinking of Caucasians as evil. I can't because of my lived experience anymore. You're going to be shocked at this letter, but I have changed my paradigm. I am no longer entrenched in the paradigm that all Caucasians are evil. I have hope that the young Caucasians in America will help rid us of the cancer of racism, that they'll play a part. A complete 180-degree turnaround for him. And that's a role model, an example that all of us can be involved in and can experience. And I have been so slow, so slow. The two moments with the same angel was at least a year ago. That's all I have for today, and I look forward to the next one.